In order to get more punch at the start, I stood up with about 3 seconds to go and started sprinting. Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. That seemed to work out for me. Rather than ending up with a gap in front of me with about 15 seconds into the race, I was actually in the group this time. Looking at the data after the race on Zwift.com, about half the field had more 15-second watts per kilogram than I did. And a lot of them ranged from 1.5 to 2 times as much. Maybe that's about right, since I'm the oldest guy in the field, probably at 65 years old. As of late, I've been trying to figure out why my average wattage since my comeback from my leg injury, has been between 255 and 265 watts, and I rarely make it past the second lap connected to the front group. Where compared to before my leg injury, I was up to 277 watts, and I was finishing with the main group on the last lap. The best guess I have, one reason is that everybody's just a lot stronger. This is the typical beginning of the race season for a lot of people, and so a lot of these riders that I'm racing against are really in shape compared to what I am. Another possible contributor is my workouts. These crits 1 week is the only upper intensity work I've been doing. I haven't been doing any VO2 max work or any HIIT work. I started my first session of those earlier this week. I also, this last week, have gone to heavy weight work with my legs, like I was doing before my leg injury. I'm hoping to see the benefit of that work in a few weeks. Back to the screen. Pretty much I am dying right now, and I've been dying the whole way from the start of the race until now, until I finally get dropped and form a chase group. Fast forward to the start of the second lap where we're entering the rolling section. You'll notice in the insert I'm checking my karate because I'm hurting so much. I'm checking to see if I'm actually gone into AFib. It is here, just as it was in the race last week, that people in the front start to attack and that the split begins to happen. And this is where, of course, that I can't keep up with what's going on, and now I'm looking for that chase group, hoping for that chase group. Initially it's just 2 of us, myself and Schuster. I do what I can in the beginning just to contribute, just in case we're able to catch up to some others that may be just dangling at the back. After a few moments, reality sets in that those guys are gone. So now I'm looking at my stupid ghost power-up, so I figure I better use it now because I can get something better later on. At that moment, McRobbie catches us and passes us like a boss. Fortunately, he can't maintain that pace, so now we have a group of 3. Fast forward again to the beginning of the last lap. We are now a group of 4. A few laps previous, one of these 2 new riders we were coming up on, and Schuster attacked and I went with him, and McRobbie wasn't able to keep up, so he dropped off and we picked up that rider. Then we picked up one more. I could tell early that we had a strong chase group. And what I mean by that is that everyone else, I believe, was stronger than I was. While I wasn't hurting like I was in that first lap and a half of the race before I got dropped by the main group, I was concerned that I was going to get dropped at any moment. In my previous race, in each lap of the last half of the race, I would attack. Not this time. The whole last half of the race, I was in fear of getting dropped by these guys. With a third of a lap to go, Schuster is using a burrito power-up, so I'm glad I'm not at his wheel as he's chasing after Brennan's attack. I realized that I used my aero power-up just a bit too soon after I turned the corner. I actually think I'm going to catch Brennan and beat the others. Coming into the line, I get nipped. I finished the race 28th out of 42. When I look on Zwift.com, I actually come in 20th. When I look at the data, I estimate that 3 should have been A's and that the 5 just didn't sign up for Zwift.com. Now, the day's not over yet for me. So now that the crit's done, my work isn't over yet. It's time to do some weight work, some leg work. So I'm going to do some squats and some deadlifts. Now, working in my garage, I don't have a long bar. I have dumbbells, so I make do. The reason I'm doing this after the crit is so I'm a little more recovered for my ride on Saturday, my group ride. Hopefully group ride. The last couple times have been more of a solo ride, but that worked out for me. So let's get to work. There are 2 reasons why I'm doing this work. First, I need more leg strength. I typically am not strong in the legs because I just haven't worked on squatting heavy. Another reason I do it is because of balance. Cycling is a linear sport, and doing squats and deadlifts helps me work muscles that ordinarily wouldn't be worked by cycling. Currently, I start off with 30 pounds in each hand and work my way up to 60 pounds in each hand. The number of reps in each set that I do depend on how I'm feeling and how much I'm lifting. Typically, it ranges between 2 and 5. You're watching me squat with 50 pounds in each hand. The reason you're not watching me squat with 60 pounds in each hand is because that wasn't that pretty. Now with the deadlifts, it was prettier, but just to be consistent, I'm showing you with the 50s. With it being almost February, in a normal year, I wouldn't be lifting or be lifting very light because it'd be starting the race season. But I don't think the race season is going to start until July now. I scheduled my training to be able to start racing around the mid to late May. That way I can make adjustments to the schedule if needs be. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. My aim is to do one Zwift crit a week, and my other hard workout being somewhere between Zone 5 and Zone 7. Remember, as always, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.